How's it going, everyone? Jared Couture here from Kung Fu Music Lessons. And this technique lesson, we're going to be talking about vibrato. So vibrato is shaking the note a little bit. And this is a really beautiful technique. There's different ways to do this. I'll show you. Well, I just want to start off by saying that this is something you need for expressive tool. And I would recommend using it like a vocalist. And if you hear a vocalist hold out a note, they'll sing do 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 do, and then I'm not the best example here, but they'll shake it at the end, la na 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 na, something like this. So the singers are doing this beautifully. Really listen to vocalists, and I would say as a guitar player, the best place to learn how to vibrato is to listen to a vocalist do it and try to take their licks, play what the singers are singing, and try to vibrato and make it sound just like the singer would vibrato. This is a way to sound really awesome, okay? Lastly, I just want to say it is totally possible to over vibrato and sound really bad. Sometimes it sounds cool in some really heavy music when you're wanting to be really intense, but in general, a lot of guitar players over vibrato and it sounds awful. No offense to anyone, but I feel like that's a very strong mark of an amateur. Like, you don't hear the pros, your favorite guitar players, doing it in this way. So I would just recommend be real cautious and careful about making your vibrato be a wonderful, beautiful expression tool, but not necessarily overdoing it, at least not all of the time. So let's go ahead and check out some ways we can vibrato. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do some different stuff with you here. So I'm going to go ahead and, here we are, A minor again. Let's just play this note right here. This is a C note on the G string. So this right here, 5th fret of the G string. C. So the thing I want you to do is, we're going to start slow with the vibrato. This is the key to being great at vibratos. So I want you to start really deadly slow. Watch this. 0 vibrato into slowly moving the finger up and down, which is going to create your vibrato. There's different ways I'll show you. But let's just start with this very basic thing of slightly pushing it up a little and pulling it down just a little, just a little. As you hear, it goes out of tune a little bit. And that's why if we over vibrato, especially like on one direction, it's like a sharp one direction and it's out of tune and it just sounds bad. So, it's easy to make it sound bad, but it's easy to make it sound amazing too. And being subtle with it is the way to be amazing. So let's just speed that up a little bit, what we just did. Like, we're pulling it down a little, we're pushing it up a little, right? Pinching normal in the back. Thumb should be there to pinch on the other side. A little up, a little down, a little up, and then slowly raise that speed with less push up and down. We don't have to go so far. It will sound out of tune. It's just a little bit up and a little bit. So I'm saying whoa, 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 whoa. Another big element of vibrato is actually doing it in time as a rhythm, not just some random thing. But you can choose a rhythm like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and or 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 or 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 and a 4 E. Now we start doing it in time. So different ways to get a good vibrato sound. So one way is kind of like this. I'm like moving my whole arm up and down this way. So but then on the other side I'm gonna be pinching. It's kind of like this. Like I'm holding and pinching, then I'm moving my whole arm up and down slightly, but keeping that thumb steady in the back. And while this thumb is steady, I'm like lifting the whole arm up and down a little. Check it out. You can use different finger. Try to get a vibrato similar to this sound. I'm saying wow, 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 wow. So this is one way. It's kind of shaking the whole arm, the whole palm like this, and then kind of yanking it up and down slightly, but kind of like moving and rocking the whole arm and the whole body a little bit, shaking it, but pinching from the other side and allowing this to bounce, or pinching and keeping your thumb straight and allowing your fingers to bounce, and a mix of the two. I hope that makes sense. Look at my hand, how it bounces. I'm still using technique like normal. Tips of the fingers, the thumb is straight, letting the whole arm move. Try to get a vibrato like this. Wow, I'm sorry, C. Wow, 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 wow. It really doesn't matter what note. On all fingers, we want to try all fingers. That's the key here, all fingers. I will say Steve Vai talks about this really cool thing where he kind of goes in a whole circular motion. Which I find to be pretty interesting and a different way of doing things. He talks about searching for a different way, which create like maybe a different sound, something unique to him, at least until everybody's doing it. So that's interesting. I haven't really experimented with that so much, but I did want to bring that up. There are different ways to do vibratos. Okay, so vibratos. So what we got to do is same idea as before, chromatic. So let's choose a note, right? We started on the C. Let's choose it. We'll stay there. Vibrato, good and subtle. Now the next note, I want to hear you play it. Well, I want you to play it without a vibrato at first. And slowly enter the vibrato, nice and subtle. Next one. Have control. So it's not just going crazy and just being here or there. Also going up and down, kind of the same. If it's only on one side, it's going to just be out of tune. We're kind of playing with our tuning by vibratoing, by going above the note, below the note. Just kind of bouncing it. And it sounds great. Just target the actual center so we're in tune. But it kind of wobbles in and out, which is totally cool. But we want to basically be targeted and around the target note instead of just totally out the whole time, because that will sound weird. Right? So that's the idea. So, chromatic lines with your vibratos. You could then move to whole steps. Right? Just like all the other techniques. Good warm-up. You could move to minor thirds. And we can also do faster ones too. Now again, a big part of vibrato is vibrato in time. It's about playing in time. So let's hit this track and mess around with some vibratos. For real. So this is an A minor, right? So we can vibrato our scale. Let's take our minor pentatonic. I'm just going to vibrato every note on the scale for a second. Let's try that, okay? This is the minor pentatonic scale. Now, we can go through our key of A minor, which is all natural notes, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, on one string at a time, or on 3 notes per string, or whatever other scale pattern, but practice vibrato every single note. So check it out. Try this with me. Make sure you're doing this and practicing these things. You can watch this as many times you need. Really good idea to watch at least 2 times or 3 times and take notes, and you'll really get all the information. So here, now I'm gonna start on this A note right here. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, right? La, sol, fa, mi, re, do, ti, la. Vibrato ball. Try to be beautiful. Sound. Vibrato every note. Right on. Vibratos. But as I said before, of course we got different types of vibratos, different rhythms. You could think rhythmically or not, but I'm going to think rhythmically for a second. So here, it's 8th note. Actually, let's try quarter note. So check this out. 1, 2, because we're already kind of quick. So it'll be like this. So I'm we kind of just yank on the string a little bit. Not exactly a vibrato, but similar thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna go through the scale too. But now check 8th note. 1 and 2 and 3 again, 4 and. Just listen to what it actually sounds like. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and triplet. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now this is control. Being able to actually play in time. So take the time to do it. Certain rhythms will sound cool for different effects on different songs. 16 note. 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a. A little harder on the high string. You kind of got to be going up on the string instead of pulling down. Check your 6th tablet. 1 of you, 1 of you, 1 of you, 1 of you, better, 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 better. So now, you don't do vibrato all the time, but really sounds great on a note when you hold it out. Or play a slower melody, you can vibrato all the notes. Yeah, vibratoing the held notes and making sure to pause, because that's its own beautiful thing. There's that kind of style where it's kind of yanking the string. You kind of get some cool Indian sounds. Different stuff, but vibrato, the last note, very beautiful. You can get a vibrato out of the bridge here if it moves, or even slightly pulling the neck, be careful. But anyway, there's some good ideas. So you can practice these things. Practice little vibratos. Start slow. Start subtle. Don't overdo it. Try this out. Make it beautiful. Pay attention to vocalists. See how they sing. Listen to them sing a note beautifully pure, held out, and then vibrato at the end. I have delay on. It already sounds like vibrato. But subtly towards the end. That type of control is going to make you sound really, really great. All right, so these are things to practice. Have fun, enjoy, play them. See you in the next lesson.